And we're welcome to the Line and Roars. We are here with Snapcat Bandits this evening. I'm John. That's Chris.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Hey, what's
Great.
going on? We're awesome, man. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Yeah, our pleasure. Chris, what's going on in your world?
In my world, not much. Getting a headache
Yeah.
from this platform, but might change that in a week or so we can improve the show quality.
It's Line and Roars. We come in sideways sometimes. We'll see what happens tonight. Keeps it
And we got
interesting.
and we got a tornado watch going on, so who knows what's gonna happen.
Could get lively. So, heaven forbid the show crashes. We can blame it on the tornado, but best of safety to you, Chris. I trust you're batting down pretty well.
Yeah, we're in for a window.
Might want to move the couch in front of that right now. But tell us about yourselves, you guys. Where are you from? Where is Snapcat Bandits out of?
Yeah, we're in the Detroit suburbs. We're in the western part of the Detroit suburbs. So we're in a township called Canton. So it's west of Detroit by about a half hour. But we just say that we're from the Detroit suburbs, Detroit area. You're about a half hour away from everything. So
Right on, right on. Rock City. Fuck yeah. How long has Snapcat Bandits been? Are you guys the sole members?
Yes.
yep,
We are
there's just two of
definitely
us.
just a duo.
Just two of
Right
us.
on.
And it started in 2023 was when we started the band, the version of Snapcat Bandits. So it was after the pandemic and after we started writing music again that we formed the band, and we went out on tribute shows a little bit before that, and we were called just Snapcat, and so then we changed it to Snapcat Bandits for this project.
Excellent, excellent. Have you both been musicians? You strike me as lifers?
Yeah, we're lifers
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, been musicians for a long time, and like Melanie said, we were involved in other projects throughout time, and we even were both away from music for a while. And after the pandemic, we decided to form this band and work on originals, and then eventually get out and play live shows because it's the whole reason we want to get out and do music is to play live in front of people, and so
Right.
so
Right
we
on.
we played a couple of warm-up shows, I call them, in 2024, but it was at the end of 2024 when we decided to go out as a duo, and from that point on, things kind of snowballed. We toured and played a lot of shows last year,
Right.
and our plate is pretty full again this year in 26 because, like I said, we enjoy playing live in front of people, and sharing music and getting sweaty and jumping around on stage
Yeah,
and
having
bashing
fun.
away at the instruments and all
Yeah.
that. That's kind of what we enjoy doing most.
Yeah.
Right on. Hell yeah.
We weren't, in the beginning, it kind of came up to, we were like, oh, should we do this or shouldn't we do this? And we were thinking, well, let's do it, because we hadn't been into music in a while. So we got back into it, and that's how we created the band.
Don't want to pass up that opportunity for fun. Um, well, let's get right into it if we can. Do you guys have some new music that you're dropping or have dropped or getting ready to drop? What is this?
Yeah, we have a new single that we started to promote about a week and a half to not quite 2 weeks ago. We just finished recording a new record. Finished in February, was mixed and mastered in mostly the early part of March. And we work with super producer and Grammy Award winning producer Chuck Alkazian out of Pearl Sound Studios. We record everything ourselves. We've upgraded our equipment over time, and Chuck mixes, masters, and he tweaks it kind of. He tweaks the songs if he feels the song needs a little tweak here and there. But
Right.
yeah, we've got a new single called "Bury Myself Down" that we're gonna release. I think Melanie said maybe about 3 weeks at the end of April sometime.
April 24th
Yeah, and
is
so
the release date.
so it's our new single, and the new record's called "Down to the Last Minute Part 1." There's going to be a Part 2 next year. We decided to do 2 EPs rather than
Instead
a
of
full
one
album
album. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we felt that people could digest each single on its own first rather than do 10 songs and hit everybody with a barrage of music. And we noticed that on
Right.
Amazon and Spotify, a lot of those songs that musicians release albums, they go unlistened to, unheard, and they
Yeah,
don't have as
and you're
much
slow
traction.
releasing it anyway, so it's hard to slow release 10
Yeah.
songs, so we're gonna slow release, the 5 songs this year and 5 more next year. And we already have all those songs for the next EP, all ready to go. But
Very good.
we had to decide which ones we were putting on this album. And so we originally had, like we said, we were thinking about 8 for a full album, and then our producer was like, no, we want 5 for this one and 5 for next. So we were like, okay, let's figure out how we're going to do that and which one should be on
Yeah.
this album and which one should be on the other. So we had to kind of think about that for a minute because we had a bunch of them. But like there was a song or two that we were working on that we thought was going to be on this album, and then we were like, no, let's table that for next time. I was listening to one of the songs and I'm like, I think we can do better at the back half of the song. So we started like, let's re-record the whole back half of the song. So Mike rewrote the whole back half of the song of a song that's coming out next year called 10 Minutes Late. It's so much better. I love it. So it was
Yeah.
definitely worth, tabling that for the second EP. So, we've been working, both EPs at the same time, basically.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm getting a weird feedback. Interesting situation that you get to. I don't know. It sounds like you're going from the wanting to do the album to balancing that with not just releasing single after single. So EP might be the new album of the future with attention span theater as it is right now.
Right.
I know everyone does the single, but I appreciate getting into something, at least eking out enough time to listen to an album and let it take you somewhere. So you're also balancing 10 songs versus 5 songs. How fast do I want to get where I'm going in 5 songs versus, the whole
Yeah,
time?
I think even a lot of the major label and big acts were talking in the last year or so that I was reading articles about how you don't really have to do a full album anymore. You can do a single, and then you can it's your choice to do an EP or a full record if you choose. To be honest, I don't know why some bands do full records anymore. Maybe it's just because they can and it's old hack, and maybe they think, let's get all these songs out because that's all we know how to do from previous works that they released. But
Well,
for
I
us,
love a full album. I love a full album, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to do one, so.
It's
Yeah.
just it's a different paradigm, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was Chuck Alkazian who kind of stopped us and said, hey, you guys don't release this as a full album. You guys got to
Yeah.
split this up.
Yeah.
Do back-to-back EPs,
I definitely think it's a good call. So the audio that you sent Chris, this is the new single. Are we allowed to play that on the show tonight?
yes, please
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yes,
go
please
ahead
do.
and do that.
Excellent. We thank you for that. Let's get right into that. And you guys have obviously been around and done your podcast or radio shows or something. That was so seamless how you went from question to, or from explanation to explanation. You read my mind on what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I think
We've
we've
done a
done.
few of these.
I think we've done a few of these in the past. So if we look
shows,
like
sir.
professionals in some respect, please excuse the dust as we continue to look like professionals.
Hey,
Last year-
bravo, man, bravo.
Our friend Duzzy really broke us in on interviews. We did one for every single we released last couple of
Excellent.
years.
Excellent. Right on. Well, okay, so you told us what the song was pretty much about, and tell us the title again.
It's called "Bury Myself Down." The title is pretty much a lot of the inner struggles that that I deal with or have dealt with in the past, and I felt it was a good release to put it on. Especially this first record, it's got a really good punk rock vibe, and there's a lot of attitude, and it's kind of I'd like to think it's in your face, so to speak, and that's kind of how I wanted it translated, and it worked out really well. You know, Melanie and I, we spent a lot of time on hooks in the song and
Right.
crafting it and putting it together. But yeah, it's
This one takes a different turn
yeah,
from where we've come from.
yeah, that's for sure.
Excellent. Right on. I appreciate the latest release here. So right on. Play that great music, Chris.
Sounds good. Here we go.
From the top.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a play from the top. Let me try this again. Not sure why my computer is
If
being
it
a pain to
doesn't
me.
if it doesn't work, I can sing it a cappella if you need.
All right. Groovy. You got drums in there, don't you? You got drums in that room?
We can bang on the table if
Yeah,
you
we
need
can
to.
play it
It'll
live
shake
for
the
you.
computer, but that would be really crappy, so we don't want that.
Are your sticks in reach?
No, but we have two phones that she could bang together.
We could just move the computer down to our
Yeah, we could
jam.
go down and play it live.
Play it live.
Do you guys own any maracas?
Hey, this guy's into maracas. Yeah.
Yeah! What the hell? It's fun to say.
Hey, that was my weird science drop, okay? So I got that 80s reference in there before we
Right
continue.
on, right on.
I'm reloading it. It's taking me a little bit. Sorry about that.
Okay,
That's
please
all right.
enjoy the music while your party's being reached. No problem. In radio, we go like this. Stretch, keep going, keep
Yes.
going.
Well, we never ever have dead air on this show. I'm
No, as long as
hell of a
somebody keeps
smart ass as
yapping,
well.
we're fine. Yeah.
Tell us. So who does what? Who plays
So,
what? Who produces?
I mop and sweep the floors, and Melanie plays a lot on the drums and creates a lot of sawdust and a lot of
Excellent,
theatrics
excellent.
behind there. So
It's
yes.
those splinters from the sticks hitting the rims.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
he's
the-
got to clean up after all that mess.
I'm the
right?
resident musical janitor in our practice space, man. So yeah, but no, honestly, I play guitar. I play guitar and I sing, and obviously Melanie plays drums. There's just two of us, but for recording purposes, I also record bass as well.
Yeah,
So,
that's the question. I guess it boils down to, because I pretty much figured you were singing and jamming the guitar.
What's
How long you?
interesting about the
Go ahead.
recording is before we lay bass down is we've got the drums laid down, and so we play as a duo. So when we're doing that, I'm filling spaces where the bass isn't, and I'm actually laying the drums down the way we're going to play it live, you know. And so when he lays that bass down, it's got to kind of lay back, you know. The bass has
Right.
got to lay back, you know, and just kind of fill between us, me and the guitar, you know, the drums
Yeah.
and the guitar and all
There's-
that. But
there's
yeah,
room for
so
stuff.
it's very simple bass lines for the most part, wouldn't you say?
I would. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends who are tuned in tonight. I'd like to say, hey, what's up,
Yeah,
Rise and Fall people?
Hello, everybody.
KK and the gang.
Hey,
Love you all.
Todd from
I see
Cough.
Todd in there. Yeah.
What's up, dude? It's good to see you guys, man. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
This is what community is all about. We were joined in the chat when the Rising Fall were on you guys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I saw that.
kind
Saw
of
that.
neat, you know. Yeah, and like we were talking about, we're gonna be touring with them in Wisconsin this summer with a Bad and Zen and a couple other Wisconsin local bands. So we can't wait for that. That's gonna be really cool. But not to digress too much, like Melanie was saying, you know, with the bass and all that stuff, live acts, you know, we were asked, you know, a number of times, how are you guys going to pull off a duo sound on stage? And so we've modified our sound over the year and a half that we've been really out gigging, you know, hard. That I've got a bass amp on one side that I turn up all the bass frequencies, and I've got a 2-channel splitter that runs the guitar frequencies on one side of the stage, bass on the other. So when you're on stage and the engineer is mixing everything, it sounds really, really full. And so we were amazed at the first couple of shows we played that way, that we're like, yeah, this is going to work live, you know? And so
That
we,
is- That's a
You know,
trip, man. So
yeah,
the bass lines are the guitar lines with just the bass frequencies, correct?
pretty much,
Did
yeah.
I get that right?
So when we're on stage, one side is really heavy sounding, and one side is really like I would say mid to trebly sounding on the guitar side of things. And so I kind of stand in the middle. I can hear everything, and so can Melanie. And
Right.
That's
so
cool,
that
man.
gave us a lot of confidence to continue to do this as a duo because the easy thing to do is to try to add more band members. But really, we've been through that with other acts over the years, and our
We like not having to ask people whether
yeah.
they're available or not, and we like to just,
Yeah,
you
indie
know,
convenience for sure. Yeah.
but it also is who we are. We've always played just the two of us for the most
Yeah,
part.
we've
We've
been playing
had
that way for
friends
a
that we play
long
with,
time.
but 90% of the time it's always just Mike and I. So
Yeah.
we've
We don't have
adjusted.
to we don't have to clear anything with somebody's spouse or check a schedule. It's like, hey, do you guys does Snapcat Bandits want to play a gig next Saturday? I look at Mel and go, hell yeah, let's do it. We
Yeah,
don't
we
have to
don't.
talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Right on.
it,
Hey, who's in the band the other 10% of the time?
Nobody.
oh no, there
No.
we have a
We have
we have a
other-
cardboard cutout that we just use on stage, and we just
Oh,
bowl them
bass
over
player?
with my guitar and everything. Dude,
No,
seriously.
I mean, throughout the years, maybe,
Yeah.
Mike and I play constantly, and then there's somebody will show up, hey, we'd like to join you, and they'd come over and we jam with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe we're doing a tribute show and we're just, getting ready for that.
Yeah,
or,
we have a handful of friends that we can count on to like jam with
Yeah,
when we want,
right.
but for this act, it's just Melanie and me, and you'd be surprised at gigs, man. We get off stage and somebody's in the audience. It could be another band. It could be somebody watching us. They always come up to us and go, "Do you guys need a bass player?" And every time I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" I'm thinking to myself, "Where were you guys years ago when we were looking for bass
well,
players?"
no, they used to
Yeah,
do-
I was gonna say, do you realize how many bands that would love to have a bass player are going, what the fuck?
Yeah. And so
well,
now
I mean, we have bass players to draw from. We do. It's not like
we just don't. We just don't because we don't want to. I got tired. You know what else too? I got tired of being a teacher, like having to show like songs and read, re-show and re-show. After a while, it gets old. When you're doing that for years to other musicians and stuff, it kind of wears on you. And so now, I mean, we've got flexible freedom. All I have to do is show Melanie something for a new song. We go down, we jam, we work on it, and then we build upon that. And so the communication between Melanie and I has always been great. I mean, yeah, sometimes we have our little squabbles and spats about songs, like what should go where, but we always
It's not really a squabble.
go
it's more
forward.
of a
Yeah, we always
discussion.
go forward with an open mind. Well, she doesn't think it's a squabble.
It's not.
You get a stick thrown at you and tell me, okay?
No, he's lying.
You guys are great, man. You guys are great.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my
I
only
don't do that
fib.
anymore.
That was my only fib, okay?
No.
So yeah.
No.
You got Chris bouncing. We're doing all right. Let's
No,
try
I
and
mean, what's
let's.
different? What's different now than before? When we used to play was that we actually communicate better. We used to not communicate as well, and the songs didn't always get off the ground as good as they should have because of the communication. So Mike kind of learned to communicate more with me so that we could work together more on the songs. So even though he's the primary songwriter.
So bands can grow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we try to. We try to. That's the thing is in this band I don't want us to be stagnant where we keep writing the same freaking record over and over again. So we either bring in new influences of things that we've listened to and before, or we listen to new
Yeah.
things, and we will purposely turn corners. Like the next record after this one, Down to the Last Minute Part 2, is probably the heaviest record that we'll do
Yeah,
to
it's gonna be
date.
heavier.
And it's got other
Fuck
influences.
yeah.
I mean,
Right on.
lots of sludgy stops and starts. We have time signature changes. We have these wacky, and one song has a wacky verse stop. We literally stop several times in the middle of a verse, and then we have space in another verse where we just let it breathe, and you hear Melanie's cymbal in the back on the hi-hat. And we've never really experimented with these things before. I don't want to say it's an experimental record, but I think it's just a version of us of where we're
We've
going.
just grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just grown. Especially over the last couple of years, I think more than any other time frame, we've grown as musicians, like a thousandfold. So, what we're doing now, we're just growing, we're just going along with our own growth and writing songs in that respect, so.
It's greatness. Yeah, the freedom of indie too. You definitely don't have anyone breathing over your shoulder. It sounds like you guys have advice here and there, but not
Yeah,
to the point of
It's
write
funny
this way or
though.
write
we
this song.
don't we don't need listen, we don't need a record label, we don't need a producer, I mean a really staunch like really big producer like over my shoulder going, hey dude, do that again. We don't do that. I don't want
Well,
any of
we
that.
don't work well
I don't want
under
any of
those
that crap. To be
circumstances.
honest with you, the whole creative control and musical freedom that you were just mentioning a second ago is what music to me is all about. That musical freedom. If you don't have that, then as a songwriter, you can't realize your full potential. Now there are certain like producers or people who are listening to your music, and they'll give you that vibe and feedback. But that's what Melanie is in our band. She's the central feedback of everything. I'll come to her with a riff or two, and maybe half a song's done, a new song, and I'll say, hey, what do you think? And she'll go, well, why don't you try this instead? I'm hearing something different, or maybe you wrote that already, and maybe you want to try something different.
And,
So,
or we access
or we
them.
just ditched the song altogether. When we wrote our first EP a few years ago, I came to her with 40 songs, and we got it down to like 6 or 7
We don't
because
need to release all those. They're song ideas. They're not really songs, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey,
You take
hold
the
on,
best
hold
song
on,
ideas.
hold on. I want to come closer, guys. I have something personalized. Can we cuss? Can we cuss on this show by chance?
No,
Limited. You can say
you cussed enough on the last one you were on.
Okay. All right, all
Leave
right,
it alone.
All right, I'll say. All right.
it's a
Most of
family
those
show. Man.
songs. Okay, this is a G-rated show. Most of those songs I wrote of the 40, I would say, were kind of crappy. I mean, they really weren't very good. But you got to go through that stuff to get to the good stuff. You really do. As a songwriter, you've got to keep writing and writing and writing to find the good stuff that can become great, and the other stuff you just got to ditch and throw away. And it's out with last week's trash. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way. See, before when we were playing, when we were a lot younger and all that, we didn't know any better. We were just writing to write. But now we have a really good purpose when we write.
Right.
So I feel like everything that we release is the best that we have to offer for that particular song. And I think
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes to the ability to edit yourself. If you can't edit yourself or take criticism, if you can't like say,
That's
boy,
what's
that really
changed.
sucks,
We don't
do it over.
we don't look at it that way. We don't have the egos in which we say,
I don't have
"Oh,
any business writing songs if I can't.
It's what's
If I,
best for the song, right?
yeah.
Right, it's what's best for the song. It's not, I'm so attached to this part I can't change it, or whatever.
And you
that
can't-
goes for both of us.
You can't be
really.
emotionally attached to a song either because, if a song has significance to you or has meaning and purpose and all that, no, because I want to keep writing. I think I have a better song in me after one that I write, after another one that I write. I think I have, maybe I've said something. For instance, there's a record, on our second record, there's a song called Summer Days. And a lot of people like that song. It's bouncy, it's poppy, it makes you feel good with summer and all that stuff. Somebody asked me, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, it says, would you ever write another song like Summer Days? And I told him, I says, hell no.
Well, I don't know,
Hell
you know.
no. You know
On
why?
the other hand, you have a lot of pop influences.
Well,
so
hang on a second.
You should see some of the pop influences that
I
come
want
out.
to, but let me clarify what I mean by that. So I'm not going to sit there and write another song like Summer Days, but if I have something that's bouncy or poppy, I'm going to try to say something in a new way, in a different way, on another topic or something that's important that I think I should write about.
As long as you don't go do 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 do. What was that song? Oh my
No,
God.
we're
I
not
gotta tell
going
you.
there, dude.
Okay. He writes
We're
this
not
song.
going. Hey, we're not going. No, we're not going there.
It's way too poppy.
Maybe on another
So-
program. Maybe on another
It's like,
program. Okay.
No, we're not doing.
Can you
that
mute
one.
her and just let me talk for a minute?
I'm afraid we cannot.
Damn.
I don't know. Chris might have some magic.
I do not. I'm sorry.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we kid in good fun because we really care about the music that
We
we
do.
make, and we have a lot of fun together when we make the music. And I think that's the whole important thing. When if you go to practice and you're down there and you hate being there or you hate somebody in your band, why the hell are you there to begin with? You know what I mean? So we don't have that at all.
You're talking about songwriting and not being able to let go of a riff or something like that. You guys heard that term "kill your darlings"?
Yeah.
You heard that? I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm using that in the exact right context, but
I think so. No, I think you
What
hit it
is
right on
it?
the head.
What is-
Say it again.
Kill Your Darlings. It might be from a literary reference. I forget where I heard it, but it was a producer using it, I believe, and it kind of struck home that a lot of times I produce my music too, and I try to at least have it in somewhere in the forefront of my brain that I'm going to get out of my own way if I start getting in the way of something. When it comes to turning knobs, writing, any of it, if something's not working, if I'm just beating a dead horse on something, I'll let it go or tweak it enough to where it does work, or save what I do love out of the riff or process or whatever.
Right, right.
I'd like to mention that KK mentioned in the chat that she's personally attached to every song. KK, I don't know how KK sweetie, I don't know how you do it, girl. Okay, you're personally attached to every song. That's cool. See,
Well,
I
have
used
a
to,
meaning to her.
yeah, I used to be like that. Okay, and I write personally from the heart on a lot of things. But the thing is that the way I see it is, if I'm gonna write another really great song that I think I have in me, I've got to do a 180 from those emotions that I expressed in another song, okay? And maybe that's where this "Kill Your Darlings" kind of comment maybe makes a little more sense, okay?
Yes, and true, this is also in the writing process, quote
Yeah.
unquote. So what KK is in love with is your finished work. So I would say nothing wrong with that, but
No, right.
you got there. You achieved your goal. That's the awesome music that you produced.
I think so because as a songwriter, you're always your own worst critic. Okay, and when when you release a song into the public, and I think there's a point where you get over the cringe factor. Like, I don't know what people are going to think of this. I got over that a long time ago. Now I don't care what people think. I mean, I want them to like it, obviously, but if somebody doesn't like a song, dude, there's millions of other songs out there people can listen to.
Yeah.
Why would you bag on one song from a band that that you might not even care for anyway? You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think
Somebody's headspace.
Well, the way
yeah.
I see it, if you're going to release a song, you're spending your time, you're spending your money on it. Now it's got to meet some, it's got to meet some tests. I have to love to play it. I have to love to listen to it. It's got to be interesting from start to finish. And if anything starts to sound extremely repetitive on my ears, I'm like, we got to change something. It's just not, you're going to get tired of that in, about 10 plays. No, we got to, you got to add, either ditch the song or add more hooks.
How
in
are you guys? You guys got a few songs out. Hey, you've been writing for years. How are you at writing a song and going, did I play that riff in a song a year ago? Do you ever play anything so similar to the stuff you've written before that you have to check yourself?
Occasionally it comes up because I've got melodies for decades in my head, it seems, and a lot of times
Sometimes you don't even know it.
if I'm writing something, I'll ask Melanie, or I'll try to go back and think, have I heard that before?
Well, that's
And
one
if
of the
I've-
tests we run it
And if
through.
I've heard it before, we get rid of it, and I'll come up with
Yeah.
something totally different because that's the one thing is I never want to try to repeat what I wrote before.
Right, yeah.
Because then you fall into the songwriter's trap, and there's dozens upon dozens of examples out there that you can.
And then you're Mark Bolan.
If I come up with a statement and say, does that sound
Oh, deny Mark
like...
Bolan. Come on.
I said, and then you are Mark Bolan. I love T-Rex, man.
I love T-Rex too, man. But
Your
yeah, no, I
songs
get
sound a
what you-
little similar at times. Is all.
except for Spaceball Ricochet. That's my favorite T-Rex song.
Yeah, I fucking love T-Rex, man.
Yeah, so, but I get what you're saying, the inspirations that you can draw from, like, I'll purposely, like, stop listening to particular music that was a favorite of mine for a while and listen purposely to other music so I can get my palette clear. If I'm listening to some really cool stuff and then maybe a week later I'll come up with something, I go, oh, that's because I was listening to these guys or these gals and it's a new influence, and I think that helps in your songwriting. Daniel Johns of Silverchair years ago used to say that he would turn off all radio, he wouldn't watch any television, and he would not listen to any previous Silverchair record or any other music while he was in writing.
Well,
Because
isn't that how we got
That's dedication, right?
Yeah, he didn't want any influence on anything to come out and try to steer the ship for the next record that they were trying to write. That's a very hard thing to do because I tried that once. I tried not listening to music or watching TV for like a week or two.
Yeah, but do you remember in the pandemic we shut all of that off? Everything.
Yeah, but I was still listening to music though. That's not.
I know a guy that's married to a videographer, a kick-ass videographer, and try writing an album. Not that this is a problem. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
where you're hearing everybody's new music coming through the mill of these quality bands that you can find at the Lion Den Roars chat right this minute, and making sure that you're not hearing riffs and absorbing riffs.
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself. And Mama's Maiden Studios, fuck yeah, and she's always getting all kinds of music through there. I'm not saying it's a problem. I barely hear anything, but it's a consideration. I want to make sure that stuff's not seeping in my brain in the background. But fuck it, man. I have so much music running across my plate, whether it be indies that I'm hearing, new stuff that's coming out. Joe Boo and Justin have a song out every week. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just a couple of quick T-Rex references.
Yeah, go, man.
If you've ever seen T-Rex at the Wembley Pool in 1972, it's all over YouTube. That's one of T-Rex's best concerts, I think. They did.
We'll check it out. I don't think I have.
Mark Bolan goes ape over a song called "Hot Love." That's another one of my favorites. And by the way, Kim Rising Fall, I'm just a Jeepster for your love, hon. I saw the comment. I'm just a Jeepster for your love. She said her golf band played Jeepster once. I'm like, no way. See, I learn something new every day, man. So anyway, yeah, just a couple of T-Rex references there. But we digress.
And I believe those are the first T-Rex references of Lion and Roars ever. So,
See,
hell yeah.
A landmark episode that we provide for all of you.
Chris, can you play Jeepster for us? I'm just kidding, man. We can't get away with that shit. Let's hear the audio of you guys
Cool.
of
Yes,
this
let's-
new song that's releasing in 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Is it?
The
Well, it's the
24th.
24th.
Yeah, it'd be 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Sweet.
Give it another try. It better work this time.
Like I said, if not, dude, I'll just sing it a cappella, man.
All right, maracas.
She's into malacas, yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Fuck, I love that. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Right
There was
on.
There was
There's a
a-
comment by Todd in the chat.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments. First of all, to answer one of the comments, so we upgraded our recording equipment. We used to have a 12-track recorder. Now we have a 20-track recorder. So on our first two EPs, we only had room for like 3 guitar tracks.
Yeah,
but
that's-
now 6. Wherever I recorded 6 guitar tracks for every song on the record. So it's going to sound a lot fuller and more in your face. And
Are you a left, right, center guy? Do you care to divulge any company secrets?
No, I don't think so. I record usually two to three rhythm tracks, a couple of lead tracks, and then maybe a higher octave track to really give the spacing of everything that it needs. And so when you listen to it, especially with headphones, you can hear all the differences. Like at least I can, if because I guess my ears are tuned to it, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, I noticed that when we were listening to playbacks after we got the first initial mixes, we both said, yeah, man, you can hear all those guitars. And so I think it hits you harder in the face this time around with this record than our previous two. So,
We don't
Lead
mix
in
it
the center, do you
ourselves,
remember?
so.
pardon
Sorry,
me?
is your lead in the center? Do you remember?
No, I don't have my sheet with me to my crib
Yeah,
sheet.
it's all good, man. I know that's a lot of technical shit.
Yeah, like Melanie
I
said,
fucking
we
love
don't.
Chuck
Yeah,
asked
we
it-
don't
I think
mix.
we wanted it down the middle is what we told him to do,
Yeah.
you know.
It's so you were going for punchy in the face. It's there, man. That's so good and so subtly done. Not subtly done. That's not the right word, but I don't know, man. You find yourself with your face peeled off. It's great. It's great how you kind of work it in there and love the fucking wah on that lead, man. Oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was a late addition to the recording. So, here's a couple of, I guess, secrets, if you will. I don't know. So when I record, okay, I'll go down in the studio and I'll record. And when I record, most of the stuff outside of maybe the main rhythm track, I know, but the other stuff is done the day of. And I walk in with a blank sheet of paper. That way, I don't have any preconceived notion of how the song's actually going to come out. So that wah was the last thing that I added to the song because I thought, the song needs something in the middle there to like draw your attention to it.
Tastefully done, man. It was,
Thanks,
yeah.
dude. I appreciate
Tell
that.
him what pedal you use.
And so my wah pedal is actually the Kirk Hammett Crybaby wah I got. And I'm like, because I like the way Kirk Hammett's wah sounds at Metallica concerts. I think it's just out of this world. So what I did was I got one. I sat on the wah for a year. I didn't use it on the last, the previous 2 records. And I said, you know what, I'm going to bring it out this record because I think I got a couple of spots for it. And so I just experimented and then I said, you know what, here we go. I'm gonna insert it in this part of the song, and we'll see what happens. And much like you guys were talking about, when Melanie heard it and when Chuck, our producer, heard it, it was all thumbs up. So it was like I said, it was a tasteful addition, but nothing too overbearing or over the top because I didn't want the result to come out that way.
Right. Well, it's a well produced song as far as composition. Not to dork out on too much, but that's what we do.
Cool.
But a wah to me, I mean, you got your Hendrix, and you can use it for character as well, but in a lead, it's crazy. It's the craziness when you start going over the top with the wah is what puts the icing on the cake with that. So I could see, that was a fine line, putting it in there and not getting too over the top with it to where the song is just too wild or going in a side direction or something. Easy to get sideways, I guess, with that is it could have been, and it was, like I say, tastefully done.
That's cool,
Fuck
man.
yeah, you guys. Let's dork out on the drums for a second, shall we? What kind of snare is that? How deep is it?
It's deep. It's not very. It's just a standard size
Yeah,
snare.
Standard. It sounded fantastic. Were
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it's not deep. It's it's a Star Classic Tama. I changed the heads. I started using Evans G2 because they're a little bit heavier. It seems like.
What is that? What do they call that? A weave head or a mesh head or where it's
Yeah.
interwoven?
Right. It has like the rims around it and the middle. It's a. I guess a lot of people use it rock music. Not just me, but I changed
Fantastic
out.
sound. That's where I was going with all that.
Yeah. So this is like the first record I think we've used
The newer heads,
The
yeah,
newer
for
heads on
sure.
it.
I mean, she just put a new set of heads on
But you
and
have to
tuned them up
change
and
them
everything.
more
and-
more
yeah.
frequently than you think.
Yeah.
So I think that it starts to lose its sound after about 3 months, maybe. So I'm like, just swapping out all of that every 3 months, just standardly. I don't want anything to break anyway because I'm hitting them hard. And
Yeah,
it's a
that's it.
piece, one kick. It's not what you have, it's what you do with it, I guess. We do I do a lot of tom work, but tastefully done because I'm hearing where maybe the bass lines would be and won't be played live, so I'm
Yeah.
hitting different things there. That's kind of how we developed our sound together. We just fill in all those spaces.
Yeah, that's what
that we
happens
do
when you just
together.
have two. I know the Van Halen brothers. There's a good story about them that when they first started playing together, they did the same thing. They would fill in spaces because it was only just the two brothers learning as they were coming along. Before even I think the Mammoth, their first band before they changed to Van Halen back in late '60s, early '70s. They would Eddie Van Halen talked about him filling spaces where other musicians would be, but what it does is it teaches you that, hey, if I need to lay on the gas pedal here and put something there, I'm going to do it. But then, if I need to lay off and just and lean back maybe and just do power chord stuff, we can do that too.
Yeah.
That we have the flexibility. See, we don't necessarily for our live shows, we don't necessarily stick to the recording that we do. We tend to go off a little bit on certain sections of songs because much like Led Zeppelin used to do, the songs are growing and breathing as you play them live over time. And
Ideally,
the first record, we released in 24. I mean, but we wrote the songs in 22. So I mean, that they've got 4 years behind them now. They're still evolving live on stage. There's a couple of them from our first EP that we've tuned down a half step to give it a different emotion, a different flavor now. So when people come to see us now, if they've heard the record, they're going to hear a completely different interpretation of the song when they see it live this time around. So, and I like that because it keeps things fresh and interesting for Melanie and me. And we're never going to get bored with playing, some of the old stuff. Even though sometimes you got to move on from it and play new stuff because you like the new stuff. But a lot of the old stuff we still dig, man. So.
Yeah, explain
throw-
how you
you-
pick your guitar parts for the live shows too.
Oh yeah, so when we play live, I do kind of what Jimmy Page used to do when Zeppelin would go out on tour. Because I remember Jimmy Page, reading about him, he'd record 6 or 7 guitar tracks for many songs. In their rehearsals, he would have to pick certain phrasings in certain sections of the song, and then he would string it together in rehearsals. And I pretty much do the same thing. Our song "September Rain" is a really good example. There are a lot of leads on top or fills that I'm not playing power chords. I'll go and I'll do the higher leads or I'll do the higher octave leads on it and string it together so the interpretation of the song is the best that it can be live. Because I could just sit there and do power chord stuff and sing all the time, but to me, I feel like I'd be cheating the audience if I didn't give it everything I had to try to incorporate a lot of what I did on the recordings into like a structured song to play live. So there's a lot of work in my head as far as how I'm going to do that. And when we take it to rehearsals, it usually comes out the way that we think it's going to.
Yeah, if it doesn't, then we fix it.
Yeah.
all about filling up that space, especially with less people in it.
Yep.
Yep. I've been in 5-piece bands where it was 2 guitars, and one of the guitarists jammed and had to
I'll get 'em used
see
to
what
it.
we could do to see what we could do to make a five part go into a 4-part. So picking up parts here and there as a bassist, and then picking up the rhythm guitarist picking up other parts too.
Right, right. I think it gives us a lot of creative flexibility, and that's something that that Melanie and I've always both wanted to do in a band is not be so reliant on others to either fill spaces or play the similar way that we play. And like I said, it comes down to just having that freedom to be able to do as we please. And I've never been more happy in a band than this one, honestly. I mean, it just, like I said, it's really great when we step on stage. We know the songs, and we just rip through them. Our motto is just to grip and rip, man. And when we do, we want to translate that energy to an audience. We don't want to sit there and like our songs are totally contrived or we have to stick to a particular format. It's got to sound like the record. I always say, if you want to hear the record, go put the record on, man. You know what I mean? So,
But
I
it's
don't.
not far off from it either.
I'm sorry. It's not what?
Yeah, our live show isn't far off from the record either.
Oh, gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
You're gonna know what we were talking about. If you go to the
Yeah.
show, you're gonna know it. Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
if you
absolutely.
come to a Snapcat Bandit show, for instance, if you come see us in Wisconsin in July, you're going to get pretty much 90% of what the record, the vibe sounds like. You'll get variations of interpretations of the songs because, that's where our heads are at now in 2026 versus 2023, for instance. Because once you're on that journey, it's very difficult to go back to the way you started to play a song. But for us, it's good to have those particular interpretations of songs because it's like, okay, you guys are real musicians making real music. You're not doing something just some cookie cutter stuff.
right. Like some songs just evolve over time, even after you record them. So that's another reason why not to record them like as soon as you have it, because you're still evolving the
Yeah.
song, but even after that, after you record it, it's going to evolve some more, especially when you're playing it live a lot. And so, like if looks could kill, for instance, we have we changed, I think, the middle, didn't we?
Yeah, with the old
know.
song "If Looks Could Kill," we change the middle part frequently depending on our mood on stage. I mean, and sometimes we'll extend it out for a while. See, on the recorded version, there's just kind of like a natural clean break in the middle, and
Right.
so
That's how
didn't-
we recorded it at the time.
That's how we recorded it, but I didn't want to do that live. I felt it was kind of boring. I kind of wanted to jump around and get crazy because it's an instrumental break. I can step away from the microphone and I can thrash with Melanie and kind of just interact with her, or I can go to different parts of the stage and interact with the crowd. Because you think of it this way, there's only two of us, but I tell people all the time, I use every inch of every stage we've ever been on because I want to interact with as many people in the crowd as possible and show you that, hey, even though there's two of us on stage, I can move around at will. Even though Melanie's, she's kind of anchored back there behind the drums, but she gets into it as well too.
Are we safe to assume you're wireless on everything?
No, no,
No,
we're old
you're
school.
dragging her out. That's a feat, man.
I'm old school
Yeah.
plug-in, dude. I got a
Fuck
21.
yeah, dude.
I got a 21-foot cord, dude.
Hell
and
yeah.
and I go up and down and back and forth. I don't want to get involved in the wireless stuff because that's another headache. See, because for us,
Oh,
it
I
takes
feel
us
you, man.
about-
I like a cord as well.
takes us probably
have to if we start flying to gigs and stuff, though.
it takes us maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes tops to get a good setup, and then 10 to 15 to take down. Our setup and takedowns are really thorough, and so to add more layers, like Melanie said, if we gig further out of state, across country or whatever, maybe we'd have to look into it just for logistical and simplistic purposes. But for now, since we're roading it around, basically the Great Lakes region
Yeah,
here.
go with what works and what's stable. What's
Yeah,
not gonna break. Yeah.
Right.
Hell yeah.
yeah, that's what we'd figure to do. Hey, if a cord's not working, then I got backups in my flight case. I kind of
There's more
you
cords,
got to
yeah.
think ahead for these
Yeah.
things, right? And so, yeah, for our right now, it's if it ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. We're just gonna try to improve and get better each gig that we do on our act, and keep the good songs in there that people can really find the energy. And then as we write newer songs, we'll road test a few, and if some of them are kind of just then maybe we set them aside. But some of the newer stuff, if people dig it, yeah, we're definitely keep it in. And so it's always a work in progress to try to engage the crowd with what you're doing.
Hell yeah. Well, do you guys want to do any shout outs to anybody in particular? We're gonna try and play. I'm feeling dangerous tonight. We're gonna try and play another video here if we can. See how our shit's
yeah.
rolling.
Yeah,
What
just
is-
want to give shout outs in the chat to our friends at the Rising Fall, Kim and Dimitri. We love you guys. And
Thank
we
you guys for
appreciate-
coming tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming in and sharing time with us in the chat. I know they're doing dinner and stuff like that, and it's really cool. They're wonderful friends of ours. We love them dearly. We always say if we lived closer than Chicago and Detroit, we'd be doing barbecues every weekend with those guys. We love them so much. And Todd from Cuff.
Yeah.
Todd and Virginia, brother, we appreciate you too, chiming in and hanging out. We normally chime in a couple times a week, in the various online radio platforms, the chat rooms and everything like that. This community is wonderful. We share a lot with a lot of people, but
Oh, yeah.
these people in particular, Todd, Dimitri, and Kim, we have close relationships with these guys, and we love them dearly. So thanks, guys, for coming in tonight. We appreciate you.
Excellent, excellent. What's a video that we should play that would give everyone a different idea, or one that you just want
You
to play?
want to do September Rain?
September Rain's a
Yeah,
good
if you
one.
got September Rain handy, you probably might want to throw that one out. Or Anything to Say. Anything to Say is pretty good too.
That's the newer
Maybe
one.
Anything to Say would be better. That's the most recent video we did last year.
All right, Chris will be booting that up. We'll get that out there too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so Anything to Say, we shot this video in two places. We shot it down some of it's shot down in Florida in December of 2024. And then the rest of it was shot back up here in Michigan, I think the following spring or summer, or somewhere in that time frame. And then Melanie, she's the one who puts all the footage together, edits it, gets it all together. She is the video wizard.
Right on. Excellent.
Yep.
Go for it, Chris. Excellent introduction. Thank you.
I just need a second still. I'm trying to get it to cooperate.
Excellent. What part of Florida was the shot in? I'm in
Shot
St.
at
Pete.
Vero Beach, right on the Atlantic Ocean.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and the red lighting is courtesy of the place we stayed at. So
It's kind of a cool place to shoot a video in.
Good deal.
I should be good as long as technology doesn't fail me.
that's okay. Yeah, sometimes these technology, man, it can be frustrating, you know.
Yes. So, anything to say? Let's give this a shot.
Maybe someday we'll think about all that went wrong. Turn the tea leaves to find out just where we belong. Dusty vision, clear the cobwebs out of my mind. Superficial, I know that you're no friend of mine. 'Cause I don't think I have anything to say to you. That's when all those words get in the way. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I have anything to say. Anything to say to you. Underhanded, behind my back all the time. Thinking selfish, always the first one in line. Your behavior shows me your world is so small. Moving forward, I owe you nothing at all. 'Cause I don't think I have anything to say to you. That's when all those words get in the way. Yeah, yeah. I don't think
Greatness, you guys.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, there were some good comments in the chat there. So first off, Kimberly from Superposition said, "Love your voice." Thank you. I appreciate that, Kim. We appreciate that. And then Kim from the Rise and Fall asked about our lip syncing technique that we did. So we had so we brought a large Bose speaker with us, and Melanie fed the song through our iPhone to the speaker. And we shot the footage late at night. So in Florida, we shot it like after 10:30 when the place that we
We were
at
being
was
pretty loud.
deserted. Yeah, we were getting really freaking loud. Okay, but you
But
gotta
they
remember,
love us there. We
yeah,
stayed there.
you
so
gotta
many
remember
times.
the
They know who we are.
ocean. The Atlantic Ocean was like, I don't know, 50 some feet away, and that was the waves were crashing up that night, so it was making some noise too. So we were competing with the Atlantic Ocean noise. Okay, so
Right.
but anyway, so. And the funny story I like to tell is that there was this couple sitting by, there was a fire pit over there, and the couple, they were getting all like all getting nosy, like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. They started hearing the loud music, and they started giving us the stink eye, like, these people are ruining our evening. What are you doing? You're shooting a what?
You rock and rollers.
I'm trying to propose to my girl, and look what you're doing. So,
I don't
so
know.
they had all these really, weird looks at us and all that. And by the time we were done shooting some of those segments that night, they had bolted and stuff like that. I think we scared them off, honestly.
Well, I had to, I just didn't do the segment once. You have to shoot it like, I don't know, half a dozen times to make sure you get all the segments right. So it's
Right.
a process, and so we're playing the song at full speed, for six
This
times
one,
in a row.
this
or
one
whatever.
goes to 12, not
Yeah.
11. So
And-
we were fine.
And some of the footage you use and some you don't, some you like, and you just never really know what you're going to do until you get back into producing it, and so, then you figure out what works and what doesn't, as far as you kind of have an idea. But once I sit down and I start putting the video together, then I really, sometimes the darn thing surprises me as to what direction I go in with it. But you got to pick the best of the footage, and you have to keep bouncing from, different shots, because otherwise it's just going to be boring. So you have to, when you're taking video, if you're doing it yourself, you want to make sure that you're taking various locations, different shots, different angles, and you want to, be able to pick all those different ones so you're constantly bouncing. You never want to stay too long on a shot, 3, 4, 5 seconds. I guess if you're doing the verse, you can
Keep
stay.
that interest, right?
But,
Yeah.
you got to bounce around. That's what makes the video interesting.
And I'm just a piece of meat, guys. I mean, she's like, go over here and do this and do that. Go over here and do this. Look like you're really angry. I'm like, I already am, because I'm down here. You know what I mean? I'm just like, eh.
I love doing videos, and Mike hates doing videos.
I hate doing music videos. I'm sorry.
So-
I know it's part of the deal. It's part, but there's love and hate to anything that you do, and music videos are not my favorite thing. You know why? I feel like I'm cheating myself and people when I'm lip syncing a video instead of playing it, singing it live, because I'm so used to singing live, right? But
Yeah.
to lip sync a video, I just feel like,
Well, an official music
know.
video has to be the audio that you recorded.
I know,
and
maybe I'm
goes
You got to
for
suffer for your art, brother.
maybe I'm making too much out of it, or just making it,
It's the final product. You got to look at it from the videographer's eyes, I guess.
I don't know.
But
Man,
it comes out badass as it did.
do
And
it
it was
again.
well, lip syncing, but I asked him to sing the song.
All right.
Sing the song.
Sing.
Don't just lip sync it. Sing it. Sing. The
I could have
song.
done what
Because
David.
otherwise, it looks lip sync.
I could have done what David Lee Roth did in the Panama video. I mean, David Lee Roth was barely
He's the
singing.
feedback.
He was just like, doing this, and his mouth was barely moving in that video. I'm like, that's what I feel like doing, but I can't, because I'll get yelled at. No, sing with passion. You know what I mean?
I want you guys. You've
I'm a
dropped
terrible
people's
director.
names.
I'm constantly yelling, directives.
You ever put your hands up and say, "I'll be in my trailer"?
No, I wish I had a trailer, dude. Seriously, I could have just bolted and walked to the water, but then stranger things would happen after that, and I don't want that. Right? So
You guys,
anyway,
do me a favor. Give me three or four bands from the old days. I've heard Zeppelin. I've heard Van Halen. These are all great names. Two of my faves. Give me some bands that you grew up with that stock question. Who are your influences?
Oh, at the start it was Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, because I'm left-handed, and
Okay.
because throughout my life, I've I've never really had like a left-handed inspired muse individual. It could be art, could be music, could be whatever. And so the first one I ever saw it was Jimi Hendrix on MTV. And MTV used to play these closet classics of Jimi Hendrix, clips of videos.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
The first one I ever saw was Hey Joe. And I watched the video and I called my mom and I said, "Hey mom," I said, "this guy's left-handed, isn't he?" Because I didn't know it was Jimi Hendrix at the time, or his significance, because I was young. And she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, he's left-handed, just like you are." And when she said "just like you are," all the bells and whistles went off in my head. I'm like, "Oh my God, there is somebody else out there like me that's doing that." And then after that, when I saw Nirvana and I saw what Kurt Cobain was doing on stage, I'm like, you know what? That looks like something I could do too. It doesn't look too complicated. It looks kind of okay. He's doing this and that, and that's what got me interested in picking up my first guitar, was just watching what Kurt Cobain and Nirvana did. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be playing guitar. Wouldn't have done anything. I wouldn't be sitting here today. I mean,
Mike, did
so
you ever take any guitar lessons?
no, I never did.
No.
I never did. I was the guy. I was the kid who spent 12 to 14 hours a day playing in my bedroom, and I had a songbook, and I learned how to tune guitar by myself. And the first song I ever learned from Nirvana was Nirvana's "School," because it's very simple. And once I learned that, I was jumping off my bed and just giving all the rock star moves. And I was the only audience, and I loved it. And I had a small little PV amp, and when my parents left, I turned it all the way up and was pissing my neighbors off, and all that stuff. And that was
The
fun.
good
And that's
days. Yeah.
that's where those the good old days. That's where all that comes from. But more importantly, I found music that I could identify with, because I had all these feelings and emotions in my head that I needed to express and get out. And I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to do that? Well, Nirvana's music helped me find a toolbox to put my own emotions in and draw from when I write our music. And so, and even to this day, I mean, I still draw from it, and I'm amazed that of the consistency that I can use when I'm writing songs. And so, very, very thankful and grateful that I found that pathway years ago to be able to do it. So,
Excellent. Right on. Well, I believe it's about that time. We sure appreciate you coming down and want you to come on back, especially if you have any new releases and want to get them out there and get it out to the masses.
Awesome. Thank
yeah,
you.
we appreciate.
We
Yeah.
appreciate the interview.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us on. Thank you very much for your
Blast.
time. We love what you guys are doing, and you guys talk to a lot of great artists and everything, and we support you fully 100% in what you're doing. And
Excellent.
yeah, we
Thank you.
can't wait to come back on again. We'll have another new single coming out probably just before the first of summer, and when we do, we'll hit you guys up again. We'll come on and
Yeah, that'd be great.
chat about that too. So again, thanks guys.
So
We
tell,
appreciate you.
tell the people that are in your area where that gig's going to be and which date and what time in July.
So for the Wisconsin people, we're playing two gigs. Friday night, July 17th, we're at Da Bar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then on Saturday night, July 18th, we're going to be in Madison, the Madison, Wisconsin area, Main Street Music. That's where we're going to be playing at in Madison. So we're pretty excited. And if you're in Wisconsin, stop in and say, "What's up?"
How about the shows? The shows coming up.
Oh yeah, and for here locally in April, we've got two shows. So on April 10th, which is a Friday night, we're going to be playing at this venerable dive bar in downtown Detroit near Wayne State University called the Old Miami. It's been around for decades, and we go on at 12:30 in the morning. We get to close the joint down and play a 75-minute set there.
It's a makeup gig.
It's a makeup gig. Yeah, it was scheduled in January. And then at the end of April, Friday night, April 24th, we were invited back to play the Corktown Music Festival in downtown Detroit. We're playing at a place called Nancy Whiskey Bar. It's a 102-year-old bar. It's still standing and still serving drinks, and they still got a stage, and it'll be our first time playing at that bar, so we're looking forward and pretty excited to that
On
one
July
too.
2nd.
That sounds
And then,
awesome.
oh yeah, one more. On Thursday night, July 2nd, to go into the 4th of July weekend, just announced, we are playing at the Token Lounge in Westland. We're playing with our good friends, the Kings of Strings, Tribe 989, and City Limits Band. And we played the Token Lounge a year ago. Not quite a year ago, but in 2025 we played there.
Yeah, that place has been around a long time too, and it's where a lot of major acts come in and out of the Detroit area in the suburbs. So we're looking forward to that one too.
Excellent. Excellent. Right on. Spread the word and
Yeah.
spread this broadcast. Fuck yeah.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you having us
Thank
on
you.
here. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Cool.
Right on. Excellent. Chris, you got any other shouts?
Just Emily, my mom.
Emily!
My mom was kind of late, but she showed up and she's gonna watch the replay.
Very
And
good.
hopefully
Thank you,
this
Nick.
weather
Thank you, everyone in
stops.
the chat. Hell yeah. Best of luck with that, man. Be safe up there.
It's starting to get bad. A lot of lightning, and I can hear the wind. So,
All right, man. Be safe. Excellent.
Yes.
We'll catch you. Oh, Chris, what are we thinking? We got a new bat time and, well, I guess it's the same time, but our next show is going to be on Monday. We are
Yes.
changing up the time of the Lion Den. And
Starting
more
April-
information.
Not the time of day.
starting
It is.
April 13th, we're gonna be on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, that. So Monday's the new night. Come check us out.
What
Tell your
time is
friends.
it?
8 o'clock Eastern, 7. Great
Cool.
guys.
Fantastic, guys. Keep up the great work.
Great.
Yeah, it'd be great to check in with you guys again for sure.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Excellent. Keep up the excellent music. Loved it.
Cool, we'll do. You bet.
Right on. Yay!
We ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah, let's do it.